Hello and welcome back to Luke Watches. Today I'm starting a new thing called Scary Sundays, in which I watch scary things or I play scary games, depending on what I can find during the week. Today we're reacting to something called Scary Field Trip Horror Stories Animated, and this is by Llama, and I've watched his channel for a while. He's got some really cool stuff on. He animates stories by, I believe it's Mr. Nightmare. I will link both of the channels down in the description below so that you can go and check them out. But without further ado, I want to do a short intro, so here we go. Okay. Got the red light on today, trying to be scary.
In high school, I took a mysteries and mythology type class, or something like that. I don't remember the name of the class.
Okay.
It basically
I mean,
just had to do
that
with
frog
real-life
though.
mysteries and creepy
Like,
shit.
that frog's seen some better days.
I was taking the class
It
with
really
a good
has.
friend, who I'll call Ben for this story. The teacher of the class took us on a field trip to a nearby abandoned village with an unknown past. The village was built in the early 1900s, but seems as though it had been quickly abandoned shortly after it was built.
Okay, I'm sorry, just gonna pause here a second. What school takes their kids to an abandoned village? Look, I never went to an abandoned village. I never went to an abandoned village at school. Like, you're just asking for trouble at that point. You really are. My God, these teachers, absolute cretins, man.
There was about 20 minutes. All of us were glued to the bus windows as we pulled up some sketchy-looking, decrepit road cutting through dense forest. The road eventually led to a clearing. We were there.
See, now when you see stuff like this, you immediately think of horror films and you just don't go there. You really don't.
It was almost knee-high. Then there were the buildings. The tall, archaic brick buildings with the boarded-up windows.
Your school's trying to get rid of you at this point. They're just, you know what, the kids are being little shits. Let's just take them here. If they disappear, they disappear.
The point of this little field trip was to use the so-called skills we learned in class to see if we could put anything together about why the village may have been abandoned so long ago. Some of the buildings had holes in the walls to serve as entryways.
I've got your answer.
Holes in the ground next to some
Witches. Or demons, perhaps.
To get into the basements of some of the buildings, which seemed creepy. There was one building, though. It stood taller than any of the others. It just intrigued me the most. While the teacher was leading the group towards the village church, Ben and I decided to sneak off on our own to look for anything interesting.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna pause again. I know, sorry, I'll try not to pause too much. But why? This is the problem, right? With people. Why on earth would you separate from the group? Ever heard of safety in numbers? This is exactly why that's a thing. You don't go off on your own, you goddamn cretins. That's all I can say. Absolute cretins. Just honestly, if you go off on your own in this sort of thing, it's natural selection, and you're asking for it, basically.
We walked off in the direction of the tallest building. We saw a hole in the ground. It was dug by the back door of the building, which had been sealed off. In the hole was a ladder, which led down to the concrete first, then me. Luckily, this was just around the time Apple started putting flashlights on their phones, so we had a source of light. It was creepy down there. There were a couple of beer bottles, one graffiti tag on the wall, and dusty wooden planks everywhere.
Honestly, okay, if you've gone down here, you just go back up. What are you doing?
All windows and doors had been sealed shut from above. We had already gone as far as to enter the building, so we figured we'd go up the stairs too.
Natural selection at its finest, ladies and gents.
The creepiness of the 100-year-old wood made me feel as if I was going to fall through each and every step. Ben followed suit.
So you won't catch me going dead on some next modern roller coaster that's safe, tight. But these people go up 100-year-old stairs.
Going off into different, smaller rooms.
Honestly, if my kids ever like this,
Ben and I were honestly starting to get creeped out in there, and agreed to go back outside.
I don't condone that, but I'm just saying.
Just then, there was a noise in one of the tiny rooms, like a big rock hitting the concrete floor.
Now this is when you leave.
But Ben and I froze, locked eyes for a moment, then both tiptoed over to the opening of the room. We shined the lights into the
Cretins!
room.
You deserve it! You deserve to die if you die.
We ran back down the stairs and then up the rusty ladder back outside. We caught up to the group out of breath. We didn't say anything, though, to avoid getting in trouble. One of our classmates asked us what was wrong.
I get that.
We told him we snuck into one of the buildings. And in one of the rooms, when we shined the light into it, we saw 3 guys standing maybe 10 feet away from the door.
Oh no.
Facing Ben in a weird formation, as if they were waiting for us.
I'm not a fan of that. That's actually gonna...
As we continued following the group, we paid extra attention to the tall building we entered from the distance.
You don't look back, people.
We saw a person's face.
You don't
at one of
look
the
back.
higher level windows that
Why are you doing that? Just walk. Don't look back. Just forget about it.
We didn't know what to think. Were those
Not
just
even sure
homeless
what that
people
was.
living in there? Were they gang members in hiding? Ben freaks me out with his theory. He says they were ghosts of the people who once lived in the town. Still, the way the 3 guys were just hauntingly standing there, so calmly,
You don't mess with ghosts,
we
man.
peeked our heads through
Not a
that
chat.
doorway. I still can't get that image out of my head.
To be fair, they do look a little bit
I may
like...
go back to that village one
maybe,
day.
but
Just to
nah.
prove Ben's idea wrong.
100 years ago, when was 2017? Actually, they did look like they were from like the 20s. See, and now he's dead. Great. See, I told you, this is why you don't go back and explore things, people.
Is HelloFresh with?
Shut up. I don't want to see the adverts. So that was something. Yeah, we've learnt something here today, people. If your school takes you to a place like this, they're trying to get rid of you. If you follow your friend down to a hole into the ground and then go up some 100-year-old stairs, your friend's trying to get rid of you. And then if you hear a noise, go for it. You deserve what's coming to you. Just go back the other way. I'm sure Danny would know, and so would Pikachu over there. Also, I've got a Pikachu, not a sloth this time. But yeah, so that was Scary Sunday. So, hopefully do this every Sunday. See you all in the next video. Bye-bye.